So you have a very heavy responsibility, and you need to take it seriously, because if you don't, it's going to affect the whole of Israel, and it's going to affect them in the wrong way. They need all the help they can get. And the same is true with the church. We all need all the help we can get, one way or the other. And so we get into chapter 20, then verses 1 through 7, and I think we can probably clear this up tonight. If not, then that's okay too. But it says, "Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying," and of course this is something that's repeated almost at the head of each chapter. Chapter 19 said, "And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying." Now, the verse number 2, I'll mention this of chapter 19. Verse number 2 is actually the key thing that pins the next 4 chapters together. Okay, so he said, "This is what Moses is supposed to say: Speak to all the children of Israel and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy." And this is going to be repeated as we go through these next 4 chapters. Okay? And so this is what you teach them. Why are you to teach it? Because I am the Lord, they are my people, I am holy, and they are to be holy. Okay? Now, Pam, did you get the slideshow up? No. Okay, we'll just go ahead and do this without the slideshow, if that's okay. And so verses 1 through 7 says, "Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Again, you shall say to the children of Israel, whoever of the children of Israel or of the strangers who dwell in Israel, who gives any of his descendants to Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I will set my face against that man. I will cut him off with his people, because he has given some of his descendants to Molech to defile my sanctuary and profane my holy name. And if the people of the land should in any way hide their eyes from the man, when he gives some of his descendants to Molech, and they do not kill him, then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and I will cut him off from the people. And all who prostitute themselves with him to commit harlotry with Molech, and the person who turns to mediums and familiar spirits to prostitute himself with them, I will set my face against that person and cut him off from his people. Consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, for I, the Lord, am holy." And so, Solomon built an idol for this God, and he did it for one of his wives. And he did it in the Valley of Hinnom. And you can read about that in 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 7. And so that's one of the very foolish things that Solomon did. And it was, to him, it was probably political, because most of his wives were political arrangements, if not pretty much all of them, except maybe the first one, I don't know. The Shulamite, I think it is in Song of Solomon, he's talking about the Shulamite, seems to be the one that he married first and loved the most. And so it says, "Then Solomon built a high place for Shamash, the abomination of Moab, on the hill east of Jerusalem, and from Molech, the abomination of the people of Ammon." And who were, when you think of Moab and Ammon, or Ammon, who were they? Descendants of Lot. They were the children of his tryst with his daughters. When they fled Sodom and were led into the wilderness, Mrs. Lot looked back, was turned into a pillar of salt, and his daughters went on. His sons-in-laws were destroyed with the city, evidently. And they got their father drunk and took advantage of him, and so that's how Moab and Ammon. And it's kind of like the Amalekites, who were descendants of Esau, Amalek. They never forgot their problem with Israel.